I'm just here journaling, and I wanted to share the sentiment that I came across because it has to do with health and it being simple. And I had gone through something, and it was simple. This isn't a big thing. Something simple that made me feel like I felt guilt for feeling joy. So I kind of gave up joy and I was feeling like crap, and I started journaling on when did this happen? When did this change? What made joy not feel safe? How long has it been, and how and when can I get it back? And after days of meandering, I wrote, I felt punished for feeling joy, and that by feeling joy, I became a block for someone else or an excuse as to why they couldn't have something, a comparison, right? Yeah, I became a block for someone, a comparison that they used to prove why they couldn't have something, why they didn't, that they weren't worth it, that they would never have it. And I became a person who had it easy, right? A person who had it easy, so not a good example. Not someone uplifting, but someone that makes someone else feel small because I'm happy. So I wrote the cycle out as my state is of being joyful. That's triggering people for whatever reason, right? Then to create a sense of safety for other people, I disallow my own joy. And then I feel self-pity. And then I wrote, isn't that funny? Misery loves company, because these people are pitying themselves. It's like, oh, look at how happy she is. Why don't I have that? I hate that she has that when I don't. They feel self-pity. Then I feel self-pity because I'm identifying. I feel self-pity because I'm unhappy and I'm living an inauthentic life. And then this spiral here makes life, and I wrote, even simple endeavors, hard, arduous, rewardless, and life altogether unenjoyable. And the thing that I liked so much here was that I wrote, it makes life even simple endeavors, but perhaps especially simple endeavors. It makes simple endeavors especially hard and rewardless. Because big things, hard things, you expect them to be difficult, so it's no big deal. But when even simple things are hard and rewardless and bring you no joy, no satisfaction, no purpose in life, life is not a cool prospect. Life fucking sucks, right? And I just thought it was interesting that I'm journaling in a personal way, but the result that I come to has to do with simplicity, again, and how we make life difficult. Because we complicate things, and I'm not trying to blame anyone for that, but it's just, I feel like we have been taught to do things a certain way and have certain expectations and certain values or certain modes of behavior, and they are seen as right or more purposeful. They have more purpose, they have more meaning, they have more value, but when really they actually take value from your life, and they take purpose, and they take direction from you. And isn't that shit? That we've been taught away from ourselves, and then we're commended for it, but we're fucking miserable. So now, where I am now, this was a couple days ago, yeah, and I'm here at like 7 o'clock the next morning at work, and I'm going to journal some more on this to try and get that joy back, to try and reclaim that joy and why it's okay, and how to reframe it so that when I come up to this moment in the future and someone else feels challenged for whatever personal reason, because I feel joyful and peaceful and content, and satisfied that I have satisfaction in my life, how will I handle it then? And because I want to be of service also, how can I approach it understanding where they're coming from more, so that I can be of service more without feeling like, oh, the only way I can be of service is to relinquish my joy. Being, I can be of service with my joy. How can I show them that? How can I make them feel that it's real for them? And I know this isn't my responsibility. And actually, I journaled that on another point too. I said, how do I know the difference here? I'm going to find it actually, because that actually fits perfectly here. Let's see before that. further away than I thought it was. Maybe a week before that, I wrote the hypotheticals of who am I to do that? Who am I to have that? Who am I to be that happy? Who am I when so many people aren't or don't or can't or whatever? And my response to myself was, it's not my fear of their rejection or lack of understanding of me, which was always my concept of this beforehand, is that other people's lack of understanding or belief in me would hurt me, and they wouldn't mirror my belief back. And so then I would mirror their lack of belief, and I wouldn't be able to maintain a belief in myself, which I think always has its place. But realizing, or at least reframing it maybe, that it's not my fear of their rejection or lack of understanding of me, it's that my joy or purpose or success or whatever it is would be their feeling of rejection and a lack of understanding, that they would feel rejected by my happiness, success, satisfaction, that they would feel misunderstood. And then I said, but it's not my responsibility. They're not my responsibility. And I said, but I want them to be. So I said, draw a division between having to be responsible for other people and being held back down by that responsibility and by them, and a sense of purpose and lifting people up, not taking responsibility or accountability for them, but looking creatively at how your joy can lift other people up, how you can teach them through the practice of your joy, what kind of example you're setting, right? Just playing with the idea. And then I came back to, it's just a statement. It's definitely something I heard from Amanda Francis, though, of are you willing to look at things differently? Because I think that is a key to helping life feel and seem and be simple. Are you willing to look at things differently? If things are complicated, if things aren't working out the way that you want to, are you willing to look at things differently in a way that actually might make this thing simple? And a lot of times I think we have resistance to that because we are taught that this one way that's actually quite complicated is the way, that we have a strong sense of identity to it. We are loyal to this idea. And it feels very complicated and scary to relinquish that, which is where it comes in. That's totally solid and valid, and nothing is just gonna erase that perspective. It's just looking at it from other perspectives. Are you willing to look at it differently? Not are you willing to destroy your current perspective? Are you willing to abandon it? Are you willing to also see other things? Are you willing to look at it differently? So I wrote, that is the division. So if someone is willing to see something differently, then A, they can be as happy and successful as they feel that you are, perhaps more, and B, you will help them and you'll be able to help them. And that's where I draw the division between being responsible for someone else and wanting to uplift them, wanting to take some sense of responsibility, right? Where do I draw the boundaries? Are they willing to look at things differently? And I encourage you to take that question and run with it in like all aspects of your life, because that I think can really, really help make things much simpler.